and power of the Lord and Savior Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Double salutations to the Akim out there, giving out and delivering this truth. And let's get into it. Well, you know what? I want to say it right. I come in the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom. I come in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elect.
I'm here to announce that there is a final blood moon coming up. It was bookended, let's put it that way, bookended by three, the tetrad was bookended by three blood moons, let's put it this side, blood moons before and 3 blood moons after. The final blood moon is coming on January 20th, 2019. Remember again, when things happen in the Bible, it doesn't mean, when a sign comes, it doesn't mean on that day something must happen. No. The Star of Bethlehem is a sign all Christians believe in. And yet nothing really happened in the eyes of the world until 33 years later, when Jesus was crucified and then he rose again. Then it became clear, oh, that's what the sign was about. But you could have lived for 31 years and hold the belief, well, Star of Bethlehem came and went, nothing happened. And you would have been wrong. You cannot put a time limit on it, even though the season would be close. Just like if you see a sign, Melbourne, right? You're driving on the highway from Sydney to Melbourne, you see a sign Melbourne, it doesn't mean you arrived. It may mean Melbourne in another 400 kilometers. Can't say, well, that's a bad sign. No, that's a correct sign. Then you might see another sign, Melbourne, 300 kilometers. So please understand, signs are not the same as the arrival. Signs usually precede. So there is a significant sign that is coming up on the 20th of January, and it will go right across to the 21st in American time. And this is extremely significant because that happens to be the inauguration day of Donald Trump. So sign after sign after sign. In fact, now that we've been teaching this and others have been teaching on YouTube, the world is even picking up on it. And the world is recognizing, here's just a secular newspaper saying, Eclipse 2019. How is Donald Trump linked to the blood moon? Doomsday prophecy. They always have to throw in something scary.
It says, Eclipse 2019. How is Donald Trump linked to the blood moon doomsday prophecy? So every time you turn around, this guy is like linked to something bad, and he's walking around with a red tie on. He's linked to the government shutdown. Now they're trying to probe his case and see if he was working with the Russians. And now, albeit, I guess some kind of independent news agency is asking, what does the blood moon what does the blood moon have to do with Donald Trump? And they're saying it's a possible doomsday prophecy. So no one's bringing doom and gloom. Ignorance is bliss. So the truth got to be doom.
And remember that the secular news have an incentive to exaggerate. Even if I never said the end of the world, they will try to make it sound like that. You know why? Because when nothing happens, they can mock Christianity even more. But they do so ignorantly, not realizing that they are fulfilling prophecy. Prophecy says in the last days, scoffers will come, making fun of the second coming.
A scoffer is a person that doesn't care. A person that makes fun of you, says, it's not real. Why you believe in that? Hey, hold on, they'll tell you.
When is this around? So ignorantly, not realizing that they are fulfilling prophecy. Prophecy says in the last days, scoffers will come, making fun of the second coming, saying, when is his arrival? Everything's continuing the same since the creation of the world. So even when they mock, they're actually just playing into God's plan.
All that tells me is there's a lot of people that's atheists, and that's the truth nowadays anyway. This was just a week ago. You know, they're saying yesterday's blood moon had some kind of connection to Donald Trump. Every time you turn around, this guy is linked to something bad, whether it be a government shutdown, whether it be the Russians getting him into the seat, and now they're saying that he's linked up with a blood moon.
Now, I like this graphic. I'm going to keep it up there. We have to ground the idea of the blood moon being linked to anything. We have to root this in Bible prophecy. A lot of people act like they know the Bible, but they don't actually know it. Joel chapter 2 is very clear about several signs of the end time. Let me repeat it to you. Joel chapter 2 verse 30. The sun shall be turned into darkness, the moon to blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. Now, it would be easy to dismiss this as, it's just an Old Testament scripture, just one of those maybe a bit more esoteric scriptures that we don't have to pay attention to because we're Christian. Except the first Christian sermon preached by Peter quoted this scripture, and didn't just quote it about salvation, went all the way through to the signs in the sky, which indicate, which indicate those signs occurred in the first century. And sure enough, there were blood moons and solar eclipses right around the time of the crucifixion. So when Jesus died, everyone remembered, hey, we were observing these astronomical signs, and Peter says, don't you remember Joel said that? And it's linked to the first.
Now, that's the wild part, because it says that the sun shall be as black as sackcloth, and the moon shall be as blood. Now we're getting the blood moons first, but what blots out the sun? I would think extreme amount of smoke. I would think something would have to really darken the sky to the point that you can't see the sun. But then why would we see the moon? But actually, the prophecy or the way everything's going is coming in first with the blood moon. So I guess the end all be all would be the sun getting blocked.
It's coming because that's his generation, but guess what? It's linked to the second coming. That's our generation.
No, yeah, okay. We may have had blood moons. we just had a blood moon last night. We had a blood moon last night, and they're saying that these blood moons are being linked to certain. Okay, in the Bible, a blood moon is a prophecy. This video is saying that there's a connection between last night's blood moon and Donald Trump. The reason I'm putting this video on is because this is one of the third, and you know how baseball goes, right? I'm pretty sure they got that concept from somewhere. 3 strikes you out. Every time I turn around, this guy's got something bad coming up with him. First he had the government shutdown. Actually, before that, we heard how racist he was and how nobody should be wearing MAGA hats and stuff like that. Either way, now we got the government shutdown. When he got into the seat, everyone was accusing him of being helped by the Russians to be put into the seat. But now that the government's shut down, now it's a big case. Now everyone's actually saying that he's working with the Russians to help the collapse of America. But now they're saying that the blood moon from yesterday is linked to the same guy. Also, he's walking around with a red tie. So, I don't know. This could be conspiracy to an extent, but too many things are lining up. So, I really think we need to start praying and getting ourselves right with the Most High.
So then Peter quotes it in Acts chapter 2. A totally Christian New Testament scripture.
I was just on the streams, and I was hearing people talk about people beating each other in their houses and stuff. Hey, if I would have seen it, I would have called CPS. But you know what? Why are we talking about that? And there's so much more going on in the world nowadays. If idiots are willing to put themselves out there like that, this is these cameras are communication tools. Now, yeah, you let people into your house and they may see you do doofy stuff, goofy, foo-foo shit. You know what I mean? But you can also be spreading some kind of message, or, you know, like this. This is showing you that the conclusions and the trails that I'm coming upon. If you want to journey into my world, you're very welcome. I'm opening the door. But if you don't, there's many other streams. There's streams of babies getting hit and ladies getting smacked. It's crazy nowadays. So I think we need to really get prepared and make a personal connection with our Lord and Savior, our Maker. Remember, your grandmother used to say it. Your great-grandmother used to say it. We're all going to meet our Maker. So I think right now is the time to start getting spiritual, because stuff's about to go down. You got to think about the people that work for the government. How spiritual are they? They can't be that spiritual because they're worried about mortgage payments. And they're worried about feeding that next plate of food on their table. You see?
19, we'll start at verse 20. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and notable day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. And that's the whole point, is we see the signs, and we don't...
I don't know. You can't really say respect the youth, because if the youth isn't guided right, because the elders have failed them, who do you really respect? You see? Like... You gotta respect the 5-year-old, you gotta respect the 5-year-old, but the 5-year-old's doing stuff that they see their corrupt uncle doing, like smacking girls' butts and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what? That's what people are doing nowadays. They're like arguing on stream, or some people like falling asleep doing dumb stuff. Yo, we should really be streaming stuff that's actually going on in the world. I mean, it's not that far-fetched, right?
Look at it like astrology and let it guide our lives. No, never. Instead, we realize the Word of God is true. The one who created the stars, the sun, and the moon is announcing his own coming through the signs that he created. And we can say, all the more reason to call upon Jesus to wash away our sins. All the more reason to serve Jesus, because no religion, no founder of any religion, no religious leader has the ability to time his life, his events, and his religion's history to the sun and the moon and the stars. Everything is pointing to Jesus. That's what it's about. So he says, call upon the name of the Lord, pointing to the astronomical signs. Revelation also says this, so it's firmly rooted in the New Testament and in end time. Revelation 6 verse 12, I watched as the Lamb opened the sixth seal. The Lamb of God is Jesus. This is linked to Jesus. A powerful...
Now what's wild is that people don't believe in Jesus nowadays. How atheistic the world has become. Like my last few streams, I've been trying to talk about this mark of the beast, and sometimes, well, my first stream, I got totally, people was up there talking about I was crazy and I was fear mongering. Then the second stream is pretty quiet, but you know, just seeing how atheistic the world is becoming, it's very easy to scroll open the Bible and read Revelations and see where we're going.
Earthquake struck,
and that's what's wild. Hey, I hope y'all know what heathens are, because heathens are just people that's outside of the religion, or who aren't Israelite. You see what I mean? And they're not telling us. They always give us the truth through the heathen. The heathen come out and they say, well, you see this and you see that and you see this. Nah, they make it seem like black people are nothing. Like, and I hate bringing up race, but the reality of the fact is that's what it is. In movies and TV shows, the presidents, yo, you only got one half black president. You see what I mean? Like, and while he was in term, black people was still having problems. We was still having problems because we was like, yo, what is he doing in the office? There was kids getting shot. Yo, there was the most amount of police shootings under his fucking reign. And nobody's saying nothing about that. You see what I mean? Like, this is really bad at this point.
Turn as black as sackcloth made of hair, the full moon turn as red as...
That's Revelation 6 and 12. It says, I watched the Lamb open the sixth seal. A powerful earthquake struck. The sun turned as black as sackcloth. Now, if that doesn't, I mean, I don't know how many videos y'all have watched. I'm not sure how knowledgeable you are, but I'm figuring this powerful earthquake came from a celestial body. It could have been something outside of our planet, because they say that either wormwood's supposed to hit Earth, or I'm thinking this is after wormwood though. But even if it isn't, say it's an asteroid or maybe another planet. It takes what is that, hold, or a magnetic hold onto Earth. Either way, a powerful earthquake struck. The sun turned as black as sackcloth. Why would the sun turn black? Well, from the earthquake, I would think that triggered a lot of volcanoes. A powerful earthquake. And then the moon turned as blood. So the last sign to let you know that was a biblical event is to wait for nighttime to see the red moon. You're not going to see the sun because the sun's going to be blotted out. But you'll see the moon. The moon's going to be blood red.
Blood. So you can see that there are a combination of events that are being referred to. And some people, because they want to create a straw man to beat, to try to win an argument and say, oh, Christians are just being superstitious and you're looking at blood moons, they happen all the time. Well, you're correct. We didn't say that any and every blood moon means anything. It's the combination of events. It's the timing of events that lets you know, ooh, the fingerprint of God is on this. This is beyond coincidence, which the rabbis say is an unkosher word. No such thing as coincidence. There are God incidents.
Nah. Nowadays in the world, if you don't pay your bill, it's cause you didn't get up off your ass and go to work. That was the coincidence. You see? That's how we're disconnected from the Spirit. That's how we're disconnected from the Most High. Because we have to do everything in real time now. If you don't answer that chick back and she goes with somebody else, the coincidence was you didn't answer her back. You see what I mean?
It is the combination of events which would make a blood moon prophetic. And I believe I have some interesting combinations that would at least make you pause, if not make you believe.
Nah. See, and thanks for putting that up, Kev. But I don't. What they're not telling everyone is, I think there's multiple volcanoes. They only tell us about, I think, I forgot the other super volcano, but you know about Yellowstone. You know what I mean? Like, they're not telling you about the underwater volcanoes that causes like great tsunamis and shit like that. They don't tell you about those type of things. Because, you know, just like there's supposed to not be no aliens. You see? Like, there's different types of fish in the sea. There's different types of zebras and horses and ponies and different cats, lions, tigers, jaguars, leopards. But we're supposed to believe that there's nothing in the space. There's nothing more intelligent.
That God is up to something. First of all, we're going to start at the beginning of Donald Trump.
Word. Yo. Somebody came in here and told me, they said, hey, if aliens exist, then there's no God. I asked them, I said, well, if that's the case, if there's clownfish, there's no people. That don't make no goddamn sense.
Birthday is, or fell on, Friday, the 14th of June, 1946. You say, what's so special about that? Well, did you know that on that night there was a blood moon. He was born on a blood moon. If you would add 700 days to his birth, guess where you would arrive? And I tested this out. This is not third hand.
Did you hear him? They said this dude Trump was born on a blood moon. Now, when you get the chance, go to YouTube and put in Baron von Trump. There's a book that came out 100 years ago talking about how Trump took his son on a time adventure or time travel experience, and they went back in the medieval time and they seen all types of stuff. This book was made 100 years ago, and it's talking about Trump. And then there's another book that was made quite some time ago. I believe it came out before that book. I'm not too sure, but you'll see it. It's called The Last President, and it talks about Trump. LOL's right.
And information, I calculated this, and it spat out this date, Friday the 14th of May, 1948. Does that ring a bell?
Wait, what? 700 days from Friday the 14th was 1946 was 1948. That's when watch, he'll say when Israel became a nation. But that's when that's when the white people stole Israel, saying that they was the true Jews, because in Revelations 2:9 and Revelations 3:9 it says that there's going to be a group of people calling themselves Jews that are not, that actually are lying.
So Donald Trump was born on a blood moon. 700 days later, Israel was reborn as a nation.
Whoa! Didn't I just say that? Gotta read your Bibles. Anyway, it said the hair on his head was white like wool. They didn't say white like snow. They didn't say white like leaves. They didn't say green like leaves. They said white like wool. So that means his hair was woolly. What other people you know have woolly hair? This guy on the screen don't look like he has woolly hair.
Trump becomes president on the 20th of January 2016 at the age of 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days.
Hey, fun fact. When you go over to this guy's country, you know, Japan or China, they see you, they want to grab black people hair. They just reach over and they feel intrigued. They feel like, hey, you're on my land, so I can feel your hair. And they just grab your hair whenever they want.
Trump then recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel on the 70th birthday of the nation.
Nah, my dude. I ain't gonna say Middle Eastern people have woolly hair. Because they got like that stringy, curly hair type. It's like some weird stuff. Every time I felt a wool shirt, it felt pretty stiff to me. So I don't know.
He was there before it became a nation, and he was there to recognize the capital on the 70th anniversary. As if
see, that's why judgment's coming upon the whole world, because no matter how much you beat the black man and black woman down, you're still gonna keep on beating them. You don't want to give them no credit for nothing. You want to say, nah, y'all are supposed to just be slaves. Y'all not close to God, and that's what the problem is. Anything with straight hair gets to roll. Well, guess what? That time is done, buddy. Nukes are coming. They're getting ready to fire nukes and start turning stuff up. So just check out the blood moons.
Nobody else wanted to do this before. They did. They wanted. Many presidents promised.
Hey, you know what? You kind of right, because you know it's kind of insane to say that black people didn't go all over the place. You see what I mean? But we know that that's a dark continent. So woolly hair would mean thicker hair or thick textured hair. The pictures that I've been seeing of this Jesus isn't fitting that resemblance. He has long stringy hair. Looks like a hippie. Get out the nukes, bring them out.
They'll recognize Jerusalem. Why didn't they do it? it was like God restrained it. God says, no, I want it on the 70th. And I want my chosen leader to do it. He will be like a trump. And I said, God plays on words. Trump is a trumpet. God is able to play on words like that.
Yes, he is. You know what? And that makes him so awesome. Because this guy is blowing the trumpet. Yes, he is. He's heralding World War III. He's bringing it in. He's collapsing the economy. He's hurting his own workers. So if anything was to come through, what would happen now?
He's not only prophetic, he is poetic. Fifth, Trump's first term will be marked by a lunar eclipse at exactly the halfway mark. At the midpoint of his first term, and I believe he'll have a second term, but at the midpoint of his first term.
No, you know how he's going to get that second term? You know how he's going to get that second term? He's already telling us. He said, hey, I could turn this border wall into a national emergency. Once a president decides to do something like that, that will stop and halt the elections, because we got a emergency on our hands that we got to take care of. So now with this government shutdown, what we got to do? Make it to November? Because November's the elections, right? For the 2020 president. He'll sit there, he'll throw that emergency up and stop everything, and then we won't be able to elect nobody. He'll be the president, the government's still shut down, and we're gonna have to just go through.
It will be a lunar eclipse. So when you see all these combination of coincidences, events, you realize, hey, something cosmic, something prophetic may be going on here.
Yeah, and you know, I was just watching. If you want, I may try to get into it, but there was a video on YouTube about World War III simulation, and it came out like a year ago. I don't know who put it up. It's fucking insane. But they said that World War III would begin in March of 2019. Now, mind you, this came out 2018. There was somebody that put one out like 3 months ago or some shit. It seemed like it was like off, for it was crazy. But this one that was like a year ago, it is crazy. It's crazy. You gotta check it out. Give it a chance.
Are you so ready to dismiss when so many signs are pointing to the fact that God has brought a leader on the scene to accomplish something? Now, for all those who say, well, the blood moon came and went and nothing happened. What did you expect to happen? It's like when the Star of Bethlehem came. You say, nothing happened. You say, oh yeah, something happened. A baby was born to an unknown couple.
Facts.
And Joseph.
How many times you look up in the sky and you may see something, you're like, that's nothing. And it didn't, nothing happen to you. You didn't think nothing happened to you, but something happened across the town. Something happened across the globe. You know, somebody got an earthquake or something. That was a sign for something, but you didn't accept it. You didn't receive it.
Amen. You say, babies are born all the time. You see, if you want to be an unbeliever, if you want to be a skeptic, you can always be. God will never force you. He's kind. He's kind. He honors free choice. But there'll be consequences to free choice. There'll be consequences when we die and go to Judgment Day and say, I never knew. There was no sign. Nothing was ever spoken. God will say, remember Pastor Steve? He's trying to tell you. He's trying to get your attention. He's trying to point to the signs that I gave. And he said, oh no, I ignored all of them. No one will have any excuse in the last days. So what kind of events should Christians look for? Should a Bible believer look for?
Europe's getting it too. I'm pretty sure. You could tell everybody about how Germany just got hit with 51 inches of snow. You know, it's all over. That microchip, the mark of the beast, that's already over there in Sweden, and it's over in China. And I hear that the UK's trying to get legislation or trying to get it over there to their country too. So this is about to be all over. There ain't gonna be no part where it's, well, I'm in America, so I'm in Canada, so I'm in South America, so no. All this is about to go up. Racism is all over the place. That's been tainted. This world has been tainted. So now everything is getting ignited.
Confirmation that these blood moons and the series of blood moons refer to. What signs do you want? How about Trump becomes the first sitting U.S. president to visit the Western Wall?
Yeah, what? And he got a yarmulke on. He got a yarmulke on. And then he comes back and then he says, nah, we want to acknowledge Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. What is this guy's deal with Israel? Why does he care so much about Israel? His wife is named Melania and his daughter's named Ivanka. These are damn Russian names, right?
The closest point to the Holy of Holies, the Temple of God. How about Donald Trump recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of the state of Israel, which then led Honduras, Guatemala, even Australia to recognize Jerusalem as the capital. It should be common sense that it is their capital, but yet the world is not running on rationality or common sense. They're running on emotions. They're running on irrationality. God is really rational. You know, to all the atheists who right now they're promoting philosophy and rationality and logic, that cannot be your God. Who created those laws of logic, reasoning? That's the person to worship. So I made a list. I decided to answer this question. Nothing happened. This accusation is not a question, is it? Because when people say that, they're not really interested in the answer. But for anyone that's open-minded, I have made a list that I think are prophetically significant things that would be a prayer answer to any...
Yeah, right after the niggas come home from their trick-or-treating. After you get all that demon candy, after dressing up like it, Pennywise, then you come home and then all of a sudden, blood moon upside your head.
One that's a Bible believer, and here they are. I think this is the first time many Christians will hear it, because to this...
I would hope this year, but you don't know. What you know about this year is he's already shut down the government and he's threatening to call it a national emergency. Once you do that, FEMA has to come in. He wants to allocate that so he can get the money. But either way, once you call for a federal emergency, that shuts down the elections. The government, there's no government. It's like a war right now. This is pretty much like a civil war. You're watching Trump war against Pelosi. Because none of them are coming to the table saying, hey, there's millions of people that's going to be going starving or being evicted from their houses. No, they're going on vacations and they're trying to leave. Did you see that Trump gave the champions burgers and pizza?
Many Christians say, how can God use Trump? 3 days after Trump was inaugurated. By the way, you're not going to hear this on CNN, BBC.
Nah, dude. He's done this year. He was supposed to be out. 4 years. He was supposed to be out. This was the last year. Yeah, because it was for the 2020 election. The president that was running for 2020. This dude came in 2016, I thought, right? It don't matter. It don't matter. He has a lot of controversy right now. So it don't matter how long. He's already doing enough devastation.
ABC, SBS, so you might as well open your ears and try to absorb some new information. So the world just lies to you. If you believe their polls, you know they lied to you. Here we go. He's inaugurated on the 20th of January, 2017. 3 days later, he blocks foreign aid for abortion. Is that an answer to Christian prayer? hundreds of millions of dollars stop flowing for free to these supposedly NGOs that are working against God's laws. 31st of January, he nominates a conservative Justice, Neil Gorsuch, to the Supreme Court.
Wait, let's listen to that one more time. Let's hear that. Because, see, that's what I'm saying. This guy comes in and he's doing certain things, and some people say, no, he's helping the country because he's taking back the money that we're giving to foreign aid. But no, there's a more sinister side to it.
3 days after Trump was inaugurated. By the way, you're not going to hear this on CNN, BBC, ABC, SBS, so you might as well open your ears and try to absorb some new information. So the world just lies to you. If you believe their polls, you know they lied to you. Here we go. He's inaugurated on the 20th of January, 2017. 3 days later, he blocks foreign aid for abortion.
2017 he came in. 2018, 2019, 2020. So okay, you're right. He was supposed to move himself from the seat, I believe, in November, right? Either damn way. Look, blocks foreign aid for abortion. So he said, okay, we're not gonna give those people money to take care of their population, which we shouldn't. I don't know who the hell set up that legislation. That's how this country has been just nosy in people's business for a long time now. America's been like the police of the world, and
is that an answer to Christian prayer? Hundreds of millions of dollars stop flowing for free to these supposedly NGOs that are working against God's laws. 31st of January, he nominates a conservative Justice, Neil Gorsuch, to the Supreme Court. Promise made, promise kept. 7th of February, he saved $700 million on the cost of F-35 fighter jets. Does he know the art of the deal?
No.
What is it?
No. He's being told this. If people actually believe that the president is the boss, they got something new to him. Because corporations have presidencies, but there's always a chairman of the board. There's always a CEO.
Money go when people don't negotiate. Oh yeah, lines the pockets of their cronies, their friends, their lobbyists, doesn't it? One man can put a stop to $700 million going into other people's pockets and staying with the citizens. I think that's pretty cool. 22nd of February, Trump revoked the transgender toilets that Obama mandated in public schools.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yo, if I ever hear anybody talk some bad shit about Obama, if they say something bad about Obama, about that's when you got to give up the argument. Yo, what type of shit was that, man? Yo, the first black president starts letting motherfucking transgenders go into the fucking bathroom with toddlers and fucking little girls. What? What the fuck? Yo, that's an L. Anybody that took fucking and fucking voted for Obama, you caught an L for that one. You caught an L. Yo, whoever voted for this moron to get in the goddamn seat, hey, you caught an L. You had to catch an L. Because now he shut down the government. People are in tight predicaments, and he said that the employment levels are actually higher. This is beknownst to me. I'm shocked.
How many Christians would be happy with that? No more gender confusion among minors. Let students learn. Let them be educated, not indoctrinated.
He came in and you're like, wow, hey, he did some good stuff. That's not really bad. He stopped abortion over there in a foreign country. He stopped trannies going in the bathrooms with little Amy and Cindy. You see?
Indoctrinated about social engineering theories. And the thing is this. Most Christians would like to see this, but hardly any of them would have the gumption, would have the wit and the wisdom to accomplish this. So people say, how can God use...
No, you see, and that's what I'm saying about the heathen. The heathen, look at them. You gotta have You got to have strength. You got to want to do this. No, 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 no. This guy was born into money. His father was super fucking rich. He took his money. He started buying corporations. His father was so rich that Donald Trump was getting pulled out of bankruptcy, and his father was saving him. He was saving his companies from going into bankruptcy. He was saving Donald from going into bankruptcy. This guy still has money. Once he gets hey, what comes with the money? Does anybody know who the locks is? Money, power, respect. First you get the money, then you get the power, then people respect you. So let's listen to this guy one more time.
Schools. How many Christians would be happy with that? No more gender confusion among minors. Let students learn. Let them be educated, not indoctrinated, about social engineering theories. And the thing is this, most Christians would like to see this, but hardly any of them would have the gumption, would have the wit and the wisdom to accomplish this.
You see that? You see that right there? That hit the Christians. Hey, there's some Christians out there that still eat pork. Anybody know you are what you eat? If pigs play in slop and pigs eat slop, do you want to be a pig? Oh gosh. And abortion is bad. I don't know why you don't think so, but nobody has. Abortion isn't natural. There's no lion, zebra. There's no animal in the sea, in the sky, or in the jungle that practices abortion. At worst, if a mother gives birth to a litter and she finds one of the sick ones in the litter, she'll kill the sick one off, or she'll eat the sick one before it actually matures. There's no abortion. Abortion is, oh, I wanted to do it with this person, but I know this person ain't right, so let me kill a baby. Hey, that's pretty much like a goddamn ritual. You know how much energy goes into making a vessel or making a child? Oh God. That's, you know what? That's a good question. These people aren't underrated. You see what I mean? Like, back in the time when that's how it was first promoted to us. That's how the microchip is going to be produced to us. They're like, well, you know, there's a whole bunch of people with Alzheimer's, and I just seen a video last night. They have Alzheimer's and they have Down syndrome, and you know they could get lost in malls. So we'll put this microchip tracker in them to make sure we can find out where they go and where they're at. Not everybody's being raped nowadays. Where are these people being raped? 9 times out of 10, if you go to the right person. Now, I can't say that rape doesn't exist. It's a small percentage. It's not as high as it used to be because the society is being taught to be way more promiscuous. So, with that being said, should we have abortions going around just so women, because that's who's ultimately making the choice at the end of the day. They're saying, I don't want to have this child. So should we just let women just keep killing babies? What if the guy wanted to keep the baby and she was like, nah, I don't want to destroy my figure, or I don't want my man who's about to come home from jail to know that I was pregnant. You see what I mean? Like, yo, rape isn't natural. Rape, and it's kind of hard. It's hard. I don't know. It's like a catch-22. You know, rape is natural if you're a beast. You see, like if you just jump on something and you just like mow it down, or you would have to kill the female's family or her husband in order for you to take her and rape her, or you take her into a alley and rape her. Is that natural? You see what I mean? How's that natural? You didn't get the link or bond with the person. You just grabbed them up and you said, get over here, and you took them into a corner.
say, how can God use this man? I'd like to know, are you the alternative? Can you do a better job? If you can't do a better job, I'm not sure what you're complaining about, other than you just have irrational emotional hatred for someone. And that certainly would be un-Christian. 17th of April, the Wall Street Journal, no friend of Trump, admits Trump is rolling back more regulations than any president in history. 26th of April.
He was rolling back regulations. He was rolling back regulations in 2017. This is why people were thinking that he was Russian.
Trump is rolling.
He's a Russian implicate, a Russian cohort. This is Wall Street Journal. Nowadays, I've been reading the Washington Post is getting on Trump. Wall Street Journal admitted Trump is rolling back more regulations than any president in history. So if that's not proof that the guy is possibly working for Russia, they already got an open case. And then this was April 2017. We're now in January 2019, and the government shut down. So he was rolling back regulations to open up. He was just opening the door for the Russians, I'm telling you.
Back more regulations than any president in history. 26th of April.
Hey, Kev, you ever see a cat do it? In the animal kingdom, it does look like rape is kind of natural. Oh man, that cat jumps on the back of the girl cat and he bites the neck.
He launched Victims of Immigration Crime Engagement Office to support victims of crime by illegal aliens. Until this week, we don't stop hearing innocent citizens being murdered, being raped, even being beheaded. By the way, you don't hear this in the news. Americans are being beheaded by illegal immigrants.
Yeah, they dang sure ain't talking about that. When the hell does that happen? Whoa. Why is our news not telling us certain things? What's up with that? You look at an illegal immigrant way different than you're like, yo, where's your cousin? He gonna try to cut my head off. He's bringing over a caravan full of drugs and women with STDs and shit. What's going on with that? Oh gosh. Oh man. Oh wow. I never seen ducks. Oh shoot.
We set up an office just to tackle this. 28th of April, Neil Gorsuch is confirmed to the Supreme Court. So that's a lifetime appointment. That's an impact that will last way beyond his presidency, that is pro-Christian. 22nd of May, he becomes the first sitting president to visit the Wailing Wall. 1st June 2017, he withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord. And all the mainstream media said, what a terrible guy, he's against this, this green religion that they're trying to create. And now you see the news, 2 months of yellow vest protests in France. Absolute chaos in France. And
Wait, say this again, please, because I didn't hear him. I wasn't. I was thinking about the ducks. I'm sorry.
And now you see the news.
You just think about Daffy and Donald Duck like wilding over Daisy Duck. You see what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Paris Climate Accord. And all the mainstream media said, what a terrible guy, he's against this, this green religion that they're trying to create. And now you see the news, 2 months of yellow vest protests in France. Absolute chaos.
Look at that. That's how America's going to look pretty soon. That's France. If anybody knows anything about France and Paris, those were named in America as the romantic states. Those are where you would take your wife or your girlfriend on a romantic trip. Look at that now. Look at that smoke and the yellow vest protests. That's what they call them. France's yellow vest protests have been framed as a false choice. Hey, that was the last resort for them people. They had to fight their government. And now look at this one. This government won't even talk. Pelosi's standing on one side, Trump standing on the other, and the two will never meet. They're just going to keep on talking garbage. Meanwhile, you're going to have a whole bunch of angry people like this talking about, I was evicted. I don't have food. And then what about those people that they told to pull up by their bootstraps or to get up and stop being lazy and get a job and shit? What about those people, huh? Because those were actual federal workers. Federal workers are supposed to be higher than state workers. And they're damn sure supposed to be higher than McDonald's workers. But for some reason, them two last ones are still getting paid.
In France. And Macron is to blame because what's he doing? He's trying to put carbon tax on the French citizen. He's trying to punish his own citizens to fund this globalist agenda, which has really hardly any science to it.
The globalist agenda is a cashless society, one where they can microchip the globe. They want every person on the planet to be fitted with a microchip in order for them to buy, sell, so they can track them. Because the microchips started in pets first. That's where the testing grounds were. You know how they test in lab mice and lab rats? Well, they gave the microchips to cats and dogs, people's pets. This way, if you lost your pet, they could track it. They could find the pet, and they could get your pet back. So that's where they made it a tracker. But now they're going to promote it as a device that's, you don't have to use your keys in order to get in your home. You could just swipe your hand and beep, you get inside your office door, or inside your home, or walk inside the Amazon store that now has no people in it. There's an Amazon store that has no cashiers, no customer service. You can grab whatever you want as long as you beep through as soon as you get.
You never really hear.
And you're charged by what you leave, because there's like some kind of metal detector thing by the door, but everything in the store has some kind of alarm on it. So once you pick it up, once you walk out the store, it's rung up to your account, your Amazon account. Hey, the globalist agenda is to become a cashless society and have all the inhabitants of Earth microchip.
This. Did you know that all the protests going on is about the citizens fighting against carbon tax? You don't ever hear that. So was Donald Trump right?
Dude, do you know what carbon tax is? That's insane. Do you know what the freak carbon tax is? That's for you breathing carbon, or you using your car. Any carbon that you put out, you're being taxed for. So now we got a carbon tax. You get that?
Absolutely. He has peace, and France, that's the center of the Paris Climate Accord, has chaos. To the point right now that they're becoming a mini police state. Did you see on YouTube, one lady was walking down the street with a yellow vest, pulling or pushing her baby in a stroller, and these tough looking militarized police came and told her, you're coming with us.
That's a fact. No. No, you know what? I agree with them goddamn military police. What kind of moron would be with her baby in the street pushing a stroller during the protests? Now, I don't care if you was evicted. I don't care if you're doing this for health care or whatever the hell you're doing. You don't put your child at risk knowing that there's a big protest going on and these guys are outfitted like Ninja Turtles.
Wouldn't let go of the baby, and they physically tore her from her baby and threw her in a van and shut the door.
That's because we become... Ignorance is bliss, and I think we became moronic as a global society. Because she was trying to make a statement. She's like, I'm a mom, I have to protest here with my child because I lost my job, or I'm evicted and I don't have nowhere to live, and whatever she was going to say. But those 4 or 5 police that ripped her from the stroller, they didn't want to hear her protest. Nobody cares. A bullet in the head will stop everything. You see what I mean? Now, if you cared that much about your baby wouldn't have been there.
The French citizens, obviously, they have no rights to do anything. They have no guns for protection. They just stand there videotaping, recording.
Yeah. You gotta think how many videos. I don't know if you've seen that many, but how many videos are out there where you see cats come and save each other, dogs come and save each other? We're stupid, yo. Even across the pond, we're stupid to the point that everything that happens, we start recording. What happens if it happens to you and people starts pulling out the record? You gonna feel like some sort of injustice was done. No, what would you have done if you seen somebody getting beat up or hurt? Would you have pulled out your phone? You see what I mean? Like, this society is just known to do dumb stuff as adult people. These are grown people just watching other people get beat, or there's no camaraderie, no unity. And everybody always cries and screams about community. What community?
That's a police state. It's no crime to wear a yellow vest. Baby, and they physically tore her from her baby and threw her in a van and shut the door. And all the French citizens, obviously, they have no rights to do anything. They have no guns for protection. They just stand there videotaping.
Hey, why would they? What riled the police? What made the police single out that mother with her stroller? Was there a riot breaking out and she was just pushing the stroller trying to be defiant? Why was the French people just recording? Something had to happen. And that's the thing too. When a lot of these silent protests go on, either the police or the government, somebody sends an agitator on the protester side to throw like a rock or a brick or some kind of craziness to start off everybody. So the actual protesters are now standing back watching like, what the hell just happened? And they're recording like, yo, what's this going on? And then all of a sudden, that's when the police come in with like this brute force and they start hitting you with the shields and the batons and spraying pepper spray. And they just, yo, that's insane. That's insane. There's no way in hell you could call this a goddamn police state and people are doing weird stuff. If you know that silent protests aren't silent anymore because there's agitators and provocators, are you going to want to be in that protest?
40. That's a police state. It's no crime to wear a yellow vest. Can you imagine being arrested for having the wrong opinion? She was pushing a stroller. What harm is she? See, so people they're not educated about what this is about. They're trying, the more laws the government makes, the less freedom you have, the more power the politicians have. It's always that way. So the only way is we must have some kind of reform where we have less laws, logical laws, rational, I would say Bible-based laws. I wouldn't apologize for that. The foundation of Australia, America, the Western world are biblical values. I don't know why that's suddenly taboo to say. You know, wrong thought, wrong think, new kind of crime.
Hey, yeah, and you know what? That's what it says in Revelations. It says that the people that choose not to get that microchip, the government or the image of the beast is going to choose to kill them. But those that decide to take the mark of the beast, when they get over to their maker, the maker's going to reject them. So it's going to be a real choice. You're going to either choose the physical or the spiritual. So I think now is the time to get right with the spiritual. Try to line yourself up and be prepared for the spiritual, because it's happening all over. This is a global event. Just like Homeboy just said. Thanks for letting me know, Kev. He's over there in Europe. This is happening over here in America as well.
26th of June. My goodness, we're only 6 months into the presidency. How much can a man do?
But I seen I seen a stream, some black dude, bald head. He's up there talking about how he beat his kid and he gave him $500 or whatever. Hey, yo, we got way more problems than that in the world, man. Nobody want to see you just sit up there and smoke a cigarette. You see, like, this is what people are streaming about nowadays, and this is insane, crazy.
26th of June. He donated his second quarter salary. By the way, he takes no salary, but I just pick up on some of these. He donated his second quarter salary to the Department of Education. So, he takes no salary.
I didn't hear that. But he's so rich, he doesn't have to take no goddamn salary.
Second quarter salary.
June 2017, Donald Trump donated his second quarter salary to the Department of Education, compared to Obama, worth $1.3 million before White House, $40 after White House. After White House, right?
By the way, he takes no salary, but I just pick up on some of these. He donated his second quarter salary to the Department of Education. So, he takes no salary. He's a billionaire whose net worth has declined since he took on the presidency. The whole world seems to hate him. The elites hate him. Now you compare that to the last president, fresh in your memory, Obama.
I don't know. It sounds like this guy is pro-Trump, right? It sounds like he's pro-Trump. Hey, the elites hate him. I think everybody hates him at this point.
Did you know Obama's net worth before he entered the White House? How much it was? $1.3 million. Not shabby, but not extravagant. There are Aussie citizens who would be able to save $1 million in their lifetime. You know how much he was worth, or he is worth, after he left the White House? $40 million.
See? Now you see that? You see that? That's why I'm saying all the heathen must be erased from the planet. There's racism in every person, and that's why the earth is going to be cleansed. They still picking on Obama. Still picking on Obama. This was a week ago. Now, I don't know where this guy's at. Maybe he's overseas somewhere. But his hatred is still there, is strong, and is prevalent. Meanwhile, there's people suffering, people that's facing evictions. They can't pay their mortgage. They're in foreclosure, black and white alike, through this Trump administration. So it's not only the elites that don't like Trump, it's actual people. There's people here that voted for this guy and they're like, oh, I wish I could have took my vote back. Yeah, it's too late.
How does a man who doesn't invent the iPhone, who doesn't sell any products, who doesn't operate any business, increase in wealth more than 30 times within 4 years?
Because he was in with medical, he was in with hospitals and shit like that. I believe Obama owned hospitals, or he had some kind of connections to the medical field. Either way, that's where Obamacare came in. And they were saying in the Obamacare stimulus or whatever, his legislation, he wanted to put the microchip or the RFID in the Obamacare, and people was finding it in there too. But during Trump's campaign, Trump was talking about a visa tracking system, exit entry visa tracking system. So I don't remember Obama asking to track people, but I do see a lot of videos where Trump wants to track and keep an eye on the immigrants. So, you know, research.
And yet the world loves this, and a man who's a billionaire and his wealth is going down just because he loves his country. And I believe he's doing God's work better than most Christians would.
All races outside of the black man and woman must be destroyed. Hey, I'm sorry. You may not like it. You're a heathen. This guy just said that Trump is one of the best presidents that we've had. That his account. He's never seen Donald Trump's bank account, but he's saying that Donald Trump is putting money from his own pocket into his legislations or into his seat. Meanwhile, throughout his whole campaign, he was saying that Mexico was going to build this wall. Now he's coming to the American government and refused to sign any new things or allow anything open until he gets this wall through the American pockets. Meanwhile, we don't know how many times over he could actually help build this wall, but he's not going to use it. So when the hell has he actually taken any loss from being a billionaire president? He's been using our money. So all this stuff that this guy's bringing up, I got to do more research on because I haven't seen this.
If they were in this situation, I don't know one Christian who could take the pressure that Trump takes. I don't know one. Oh, it's easy to turn it on and say, oh, he's a nasty guy, he's a bad guy. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. But can you handle that amount of rejection and criticism? That non-stop barrage. Every single hour. You can't go to sleep.
Oh, poor Trump. This guy probably eats pork. Oh, poor Trump. Hey, you know what? He's got a crew of yes men around him. That's why his cabinet, the people around him, is staying paid. The Democrats that's refusing to allow him to build this wall, they're still getting paid. Nancy Pelosi was about to go to Afghanistan and Egypt. He had to stop her. Donald Trump was like, nah, I'm not going to okay that. You got people here that work with you that aren't able to pay their bills and you want to go overseas.
Without somebody hating you and publicizing it to the whole world.
Yeah, me too. I thought, but this guy turned around and he started saying, "Nah, Trump's taking on all this pressure. You know, we got to thank him. We got to thank God for him." And you're like, "Wait, hold on. This guy's a goddamn billionaire." And all the stuff that everybody that may not agree with him, they're not around him. The people that's around him agree with him. They have to, because if not, he'll fire them. We already know that, right?
Easy to criticize. 25th of August, he imposed sanctions on Venezuela's Maduro government. And was he right? This corrupt socialist nation took a prosperous oil producer.
See that recent comment. That's why the earth is in shambles. That's why nuclear weapons are going to lay the planet to waste. That is why a tsunami is going to come and wash away most of humanity, because no one wants to change their ways. Everyone wants to stay ignorant. Ignorance is bliss until rocks fall from the sky, until the sky rains fire. Then everyone wants to be smart then. Everyone wants to know what to do. Stay in your slave mentality. Yeah, and dummies love Trump. The government's shut down. Why aren't you changing anything about that? Hey, I could be bedroom politician. You're a keyboard politician. Who's better? Because at least I can show something. I can show my hand. You see? But you can't do anything but type. And then I would have to respond or choose to respond to it. So you could either remove yourself or you can have the planet remove you. Because either way, this is going to go down. You, this guy on the screen, and the guy that's running the government.
You, sir. Straight down the toilet. So wicked. This idea, we're going to give you free everything. Everyone will be equal. If you have freedom, people can't be equal. Because I'm not going to make the same choice you do. You're not going to make the same choice I do. We're all not
Hey, let me ask you this too. Is is black people the only ones that use food stamps? Is black people the only ones that use Section 8? So at last I checked, Hillary wasn't black, and she had a lot of white supporters. So a lot of female supporters. So obviously we know you're not a female, and with you typing like this by yourself, you're by yourself. You ain't got no female with you. Because if you did, she'd probably be a Hillary supporter too, dummy.
Wear the same color clothes, eat at the same restaurants. If there's freedom, there will be inequality. September, 5th of September, Trump revoked the anchor baby policy. It's called DACA. You hear this word a lot. It stands for Delayed Action for Childhood Arrivals. You know what that is? That's license for human trafficking. Trump was attacking human traffickers. Because what they do is they take women in, they bring them for, they abuse them, sexually abuse them, but then that's not enough. They bring the children in.
And you know what? As confused as this nation is, you got like some guys that say, "Oh, I think God was wrong. I want to be born a woman." You got little kids that say, "I was born like this. I'm just gay." This is a confused place. So let's just say that the elites know that America's done because they've already cursed the place. I believe that once you let homosexuality run the course on a land, you pretty much cursed it, because now God's wrath must come upon the place. So once they legalize same-sex marriages, they pretty much cursed the land. This was under Obama's term. So now they give us Trump, and Trump knows that this place is done, but he just does like stuff like, okay, we're gonna withdraw the foreign aid for abortion. This way you look at him and you say, hey, he's not that bad of a guy. Hey, you know what? The Bible also says that the Antichrist comes in peaceably, but then does damnable heresies and causes many to be killed.
It's easier to kidnap children, bring them in, and make money. And America, the liberals there on the left, they have a policy that, if a baby comes in, we can't do anything. Delayed action, meaning no action, do nothing. And once you have an anchor baby there, then the rest of the family can follow. And so, what do people do? They sell their children to these traffickers for the opportunity for the babies to come in first, and the rest of the family can follow. I mean, how evil is that? That's human trafficking. That's abuse of these children. Yet nobody fights it except Trump.
I'm done.
I wonder what God
Wait a
thinks.
minute. Please, anybody with a good mind out there, not some stupid person, tell me, if you wanted to get into another country, you would actually sell your child so they could get in, and then you would follow them and you say, I'm that child's parent? Do you understand the stupidity level of this? I'm done with this video. I guess we'll go on to another one, huh? Because this is wild. That guy's off.
I have determined that it is time to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
Now, for years I've been hearing that the Jewish people run the world, and Jewish people run Hollywood and crazy shit. But now we get all the way to 2019, the 45th president, and he decides to make Jerusalem. How would he decide to acknowledge Jerusalem as the capital? He's not Israel. He's not Israeli. He's not. He's been there. The sun shall turn till darkness, and the moon shall turn to blood. That's what it said.
That it is time to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
This is the first time we made in Washington America's capital after you declared, Mr. President, Jerusalem as Israel's capital.
That's the president. That's the president of Israel. If anyone would be saying anything about Jerusalem, it would have been him. Even he knew not to say nothing like that. The person that actually declares the capital of Israel is cursing their land.
And this was the first time we meet in Washington, America's capital, after you declared, Mr. President, Jerusalem as Israel's capital. And this was a historic proclamation, followed by your bold decision to move the embassy by our upcoming National Independence Day. I want to tell you that the Jewish people have a long memory. So we remember the proclamation of the great king, Cyrus the Great, Persian king, 2,500 years ago.
Netanyahu compares Trump to King Cyrus. Do some research on King Cyrus. You hear that, you keyboard politician? Do some research on King Cyrus. Yep, that was the first blood moon. That's what the other guy said.
Every time on the very day Donald Trump was born was at the foot of the five ISIS.
Could you imagine that? Look at that. That's some scary shit, man. Imagine a big ass tsunami just coming and wiping motherfuckers away. I really feel like water's like the time bomb of the planet. Cause there's just so that, like, if that just like boom, it just like takes over the whole, just engulfed. Crazy. Yeah, you know what? And the bad part about that is they was waiting for the third temple to be built. Now, with Netanyahu, the Israeli president, sitting there acknowledging that the American president said what the capital of his country was. That's almost tandem with Russia, Vladimir Putin telling us that New York is going to be the new capital. We were like, why the hell we listening to him? He doesn't know nothing. You see what I mean? Like, it would just sound stupid. But we're waiting as Christians, or people waiting for the Antichrist. You're waiting for the third temple to be built in Jerusalem, because then the Antichrist is going to go into the third temple and exalt himself as God. And if he's sitting there saying that he's acknowledging Jerusalem, once he gets to the U.S. Embassy, he's going to sit there and say, yeah, I'm glad we finally got this here. You see what I mean? Like, he's lining this up.
Donald Trump came into power on the 20th of January in 2017. And that's exactly where Saturn was.
No president. Bush, check this out. Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, none of them have ever said anything like that. They may have stood by Israel. They may have helped Israel in certain fights and they would protect them, but they would never say that's the capital. They can't say that. And that's why Netanyahu said, when you declared it. He didn't.
Sun, Earth, Moon. Not to scale. So we got the Earth's atmosphere. This plays a big part in all of this, why we see it turn red. So as the sunlight comes, it interacts with the Earth's atmosphere. The atmosphere actually refracts the sunlight. Same thing happening during a sunrise or a sunset. So you see where I'm going here? You know, those orangish, reddish colors we see at sunrises and sunsets? That Earth refracting the sunlight will create this umbra, or that reddish shadow. So obviously we get that shadow, two shadows here with a total lunar eclipse. You have the penumbra, and then you have the umbra. That penumbra shadow you can barely even see, but once that moon moves into the umbra, that deeper shadow, all that refracted light from the Earth's atmosphere is then reflected off of the moon. So that's why you get that red color. Here's the really cool part about this, guys. If you were to be on the moon's surface during a total lunar eclipse, you would be able to see every sunrise and every sunset happening on the Earth at that given time, all at once.
And you know what's funny? They always try to give you these little runaround stories like they've been up there and they observed it. But these are hypotheses. They don't know how the hell this shit is actually kicking off. And just know that it's in the Bible that there was going to be blood moons and the sun will be blackened. You see that? You see that? That's the highest form of racism. We have never seen a black Christ, and if you did see a black Christ, you would think somebody was making fun of you. you would say, that's not God. God always looked like that. That's Christ. Look how he looks. Meanwhile, the Bible says woolly hair. Look, they beat him like a slave. They beat him like a slave. Tell me what white man got beat like this in history. They beat him bad. Check out the Passion of the Christ one more time. They got out whips. They got out the cat of nine tails. You ever see that? That's a monstrosity of a weapon. And to hit somebody like that on their back with it, you don't care about that person. If you really think about it, they hung him on a tree. Why was black people being hung on trees later on? Not Arab people, not white people like they show you in these westerns where they catch the thief or the burglar and then he gets lynched in front of the town square. No. It was a delicacy to pick black people up and hang them from trees. That was the tear from God, and once that tear dropped, it shook the ground.
We're going to ask it a few questions here. Hey Google, who is Allah?
According to Wikipedia,
he said, hey Google, who's Allah?
Islamic theology, God is the all-powerful and all-knowing creator, sustainer, ordainer, and judge of everything in existence.
Okay.
Google knows who Allah is.
Hey Google, who is Muhammad?
According to Wikipedia, Muhammad was the founder of Islam.
Google knows who Allah is, and Google knows who Muhammad is. Now, why would Google know about Islam? These are the people that supposedly knocked down our towers and killed over 2,000 people in the building. They trapped them in the building and they incinerated them. That was the religion that they was telling us did this. But now it's become the prevalent religion in our society because Obama was a secret Muslim. Most people don't know that. But yes, our president at one time, Barack Hussein Obama, was a secret closeted Muslim. Check this out. Hey Google, who's Buddha?
Problem? Hey Google, who is Jesus Christ?
Sorry, I can't help with that yet.
Oh, what? Hey Google. They went to Muhammad. We know that they know who Buddha is.
Hey Google, who is Jesus Christ?
Sorry, I can't help with that yet.
Sorry, I can't help with that yet. Meanwhile, I showed you videos on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you could do a Google search, but Google, the actual little talking device that you could have in your house, you say, hey Google, who's Jesus Christ? And I can't help you with that. And this world hasn't become atheistic. This world doesn't need cleansing and to be judged.
Hey Google, who is Jesus?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Oh, there goes the earthquake. There goes the earthquake. Oh. Because for some reason they thought they was just going to kill a black man and get the hell away with it. He was like, oh no, you killed the wrong black man today. Oh. Yeah, power outages. Blackout is coming. The Department of Homeland Security said try to save up to 6 months worth of food, because if the power grid goes down, it may take 6 months or longer to get everything back up and running. And now with the government shutdown, if an actual power outage was to happen, you don't know how long it would take to get everything back online. So don't matter about PS3, PS4, Xbox Scorpio. None of that stuff matters, because once all this shit starts popping off, it'll be like you didn't even have anything. It's like you wasted your money for nothing. Ain't nothing like a power outage to let you know how poor your store is, because everybody hits the supermarket after that power outage or before the storm hits. There's a device called the EMP. You know, sometimes we try to prepare for the winter storm that comes in and blows out the electricity, or there's like firestorms that people got to worry about the electricity. Well, there's an EMP, and if an EMP hits, that comes unwarranted, no warning. Look, it says it right there. Start prepping. Electric grid, prime target for terrorists. Profound threat, says council. This was posted on December 10th, 2018. So, yeah, start stocking. Either that or get right with the Most High, you know. Build up a personal connection. Lord willing, He watches out for you, you know. You got to stay strong in these times.
The warning went out late Friday by email from the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, and as you say, it is being called a rare public warning by those groups. The attacks are by a sophisticated set of actors, not clear exactly who's behind this, and they began in May. Here's what we know about which specific sectors are being targeted, and as you say, it's a very long list here, starting with nuclear, energy, aviation, water, and critical manufacturing, all being targeted by this mysterious hacking group that the government says has been active for several months and has penetrated some of those networks. What do we know about who is behind this? Not much definitively, but the cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike has said that they believe that this could be an entity they are calling Berserk Bear.
Berserk Bear, affiliated with the Russian Federation, like Trump, aggressive activities, like Trump, no destructive action yet, like Trump, campaign still ongoing, like Trump. Hey, you know what? This guy is still living in his campaign, because he made promises in his campaign that he still hasn't fulfilled. So now we're waiting for him to fulfill it. So he's still in his campaign. He hasn't done anything the destructive action he actually has done was the government shutdown, and that's an aggressive activity. He's threatening to pull America out of NATO. That's America's allies. Why would you pull? That's an aggressive activity, and he's being accused of being affiliated with the Russian Federation. So I think Donald Trump's the berserk bear. But I want to thank everyone for coming in, checking out the stream. Kev, thanks for your comments and all. I'm out of here. Hopefully you like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't, you know what? I'll be back up here eventually. This is all coming. It's all coming down the tube.
Which they say is affiliated with the Russian Federation, and experts have said that what they're seeing here is aggressive activity, but no destructive action yet. And they say that this campaign is still ongoing. So it looks like what you've got here is
Look. It's called hacking America. Hacking America. That's what Russia was already accused of. And then I seen the video of Putin talking about he wouldn't care if America got hacked or... No, dude. That's coming from your country. And then he said that America's meddled in Russian elections. So, which is in a way making it okay for Russia to hack Americans' elections. Why are we cool with this? How come there's no videos of this? Nobody's saying anything about it?
Elaborate probe operation going into all of these sensitive industries in which the hackers are determined to figure out how those industries' networks work, maintain a maybe permanent presence in them. To what end, though, is unclear. Is this sort of a just-in-case kind of preparation for total war that intelligence agencies go through all the time? Or is this...
Yep, that's what they're waiting for. Total war. And that's due to the racism and the judgmental mentalities of most of these racist people out here. I was just bombarded with some racial slurs for no reason, for showing people the state of the world, and I get a little bit of hate. And you know what? I'm cool with the hate because I see where the world's going. I seen the earthquakes. I see the hailstorms. I see the snowstorms. I see the blizzards. I see the sea rising. I see the fire falling. All this stuff is about to happen. So keep on with your racism. Keep on with your hatred. All heathens must be removed from this planet, like it or not.
The precursor to some more subtle, more narrow attack that could happen in the near future. Not clear at all necessarily where this is going, but the U.S. government wants people in those industries.
You got to think. At one point in time, there was a point in time where a black person couldn't stop hearing a slave joke. Now you could look at them and say, "Hey, you know you really are a devil, and you're going to be wiped off the planet." Some people say, "Yo, they're gonna be put into slaves." Do you really want them as slaves? I don't want no slaves. That's the wild part. You may want people to do stuff for you, but you gonna want to keep them on the outskirts. Like, I don't want to see you. But then once they start doing wild stuff like cutting off baby heads and drinking the blood and stuff like that. Once they start coming back to you, then you go like, yo, wait, what kind of a fucking hideous creature is walking around out there? Then you're not going to want them out there neither. You don't want them up under you, and you damn sure don't want them outside. So they have to be eradicated from the planet.
To know that this is happening and to take steps to stop it, guys.
There's no way you can stop it. The planet's speaking to you. The universe is speaking to you. They're tired of seeing trees die for loose leaf and pencils. That's what trees are dying for. There's fish dying from six-pack wrappers and from plastic bottles. You see what I mean? You want to charge us carbon tax because you don't want to put out a car that can actually use hydro fumes that could run off of water. No, we got to be up there producing carbon. We got to use fuel, carbon tax. Or what about your factories? These factories are pumping billions of particles into the air. And what's happening with them? In fact, some of these corporations get tax breaks thanks to Donald Trump, because he was a corporate man. He was a man of corporate America, so he knows how hard it is on the corporations. Meanwhile, he was also a landlord, and he knows that the mortgage companies want their money. But he told people to try to ask the landlord to mow the lawn or do some odd-end jobs to get your rent. Yeah, what kind of odd-end job? Meanwhile, you're forcing them. You summons some people to work because they're necessity. We need them. That's it. Look at that star. Look at them 2 stars over it.
The lunar effect theory is an idea that humans act more deviant during the full moon, and so that their behavior is affected by the cycles of the moon.
I don't know about you, but every time a full moon comes out for me, I'm in bed. I'm asleep. So who's the real deviants? Who's the Marilyn Mansons? Who's the Charlie Mansons? You see? Like when and that was confusing to me too, but when rappers come out, they want to be like Frank White or Al Capone or Noriega. You see what I mean? Like they want to be drug lords, but they're not even of their race. Meanwhile, when a rocker comes out, he wants to be like the worst epitome. He wants to be Charlie Manson, but he wants to be his little brother, so he wants to be Marilyn Manson or some wild craziness like that. That's why these people must be removed from the planet.
The lunar effect theory holds that there's madness in the world when the full moon hits, and there may be some good evidence for this. The moon does exert a magnetic pull on the Earth, which could shift magnetic fields.
To the point that you act like a goddamn caveman? Or to the point that you act like a werewolf? Who's really out there drinking blood? Who decided to start this ritual of drinking blood? Last time I checked, in the 1940s, Dracula was a white person. Now, unless they was trying to mimic black people there too. But black people don't come out at night. If you come out at night, you're looking to do some bad shit. Stay the hell away from me at that time. I'll be sitting there looking at, what the hell are you doing here?
In modern terms, this might affect consciousness, might affect brainwave patterns. If there are individuals who are predisposed to erratic or crazy behavior, it may be more pronounced at times of the full moon.
Now, mind you, this is during slave time. While the slaves were locked up or put away in their basement or thrown somewhere where they didn't have their freedom. They found out that through the full moon, people start acting deviant and unleashing their inner monsters.
Se creía que lo que ocurría en el cielo era un reflejo de lo que ocurría en la tierra. Por eso se creía también que durante los eclipses la oscuridad reinaba por encima de la luz.
Yeah, let me read this because it's in another language.
Individuals who are predisposed to erratic or crazy behavior, it may be more pronounced at times of the full moon.
That person looked possessed. Primitive cultures believed that the sky reflected what happened on Earth. So they believed that during eclipses, darkness reigned over light. Close your eyes. Is anyone with us? You want to talk? You want to talk to one of us? This is when they started doing their little witchcraft stuff. When the sun would be blotted out, and that's another thing that could cause the sun to be black as sackcloth. What if there's an eclipse? What if there's like a planet that stands between Earth and the sun? And see, that's how bad it's become. Now I wouldn't even say, hey, are they mimicking black people? Nah, you can't say that. You can't say that because they put white people everywhere in every film. There's either a white hero or a white bad guy. And now you're just seeing white girls play with the Ouija board. You never heard of witch doctors or black people learning voodoo or stuff like that. Now it's just like everything. You see what I mean? Like racism has engulfed the planet, and that's why the planet needs to be cleansed.
A total lunar eclipse also known.
But I will also say they're the ones that's more susceptible to having energies or evil spirits running through them. That's why they've been showing this throughout different movies and throughout history. And just like they just said, studies show that once the full moon happens, spirits are roaming around more. And it's usually movies based off of these people. So the heathen must be removed from the planet. If you're one of us, get right. But the heathen's gonna be removed.
It's also going to coincide with a supermoon visible across the entire United States, so it's really a super blood wolf moon eclipse.
What the hell is that? A super blood wolf moon. What would indicate a wolf there? Why is everything so evil and dread? And you gotta really think, like back in the 50s, or I could even go probably say even the 90s. You know what I mean? Like the Wonder Years. The Wonder Years was like the golden years. You see what I mean? Like they didn't have no problems. They was thinking about the Brady Bunch. Niggas was niggas. Go in your corner. But now everything's like darkness, blood moon. They're like, oh no, this could be a world-ending apocalypse. You see what I mean? Like now they know judgment is coming down. Judgment is finally here, and thank you, God, for bringing it.
Starts around 9:35 at night, and the maximum eclipse will be around 12:10 in the morning. It ends just before 3 in the morning on the 21st. Just a little creepy, right? I mean, we've been talking about this. I don't know.
Where did they get
things are going to happen?
Wolf in there?
So I think it was the first. Is it the first full moon of the year or something like that?
I am not an astronomer. I have no idea.
I like how we're looking at it. I know. Everyone does.
Yep. What the black girls say? That's creepy. Black people know. They're like, wait, blood and darkness? I don't want to touch that. I don't want to deal with that. You got some dudes out there, some girl. I ain't scared. I'll do it. No. If you got any common sense about you, you know you can't see in the goddamn dark. So a blood moon is not good.
I don't know.
Where did they get
things are going to happen?
Wolf in there?
So I think it was the first. Is it the first full moon of the year? Or
then I just say that. Then I say that. Where the hell a wolf come from? And then, because it's the first blood moon of the year. I never heard nobody call no blood wolf moon. This is some new stuff.
21st, just a little creepy, right? I mean, we've been talking about this. I don't know.
Where did they get
things are going to happen?
Wolf in there?
So I think it was the first. Is it the first full moon of the year or something
I am not
like that?
an astronomer. I have no idea.
I like how we're looking at it. I know.
Everyone does.
But I believe I read the article. I'll check. I'll double check. But I remember reading. I think it was because it was the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This sounds
I could be wrong. Someone out there probably does.
A movie in the Twilight series or something like that.
Yeah,
sure.
I just got this in. They actually threw wolf in there because it sounds cool. Just to make it,
This dude got an earpiece in his ear, and they asked him a question, and he said, I don't know, I'm not an astrologer. Meanwhile, they radio into his ear, they called it wolf because it sounds cool. No. Nothing sounds cool about a wolf. Since when was wolves cool? I guess along the same time that truth has become fear, right? Because that's retarded. That's truly retarded.
You gotta get the millennials into the astronomy thing.
It's good marketing. Good marketing there.
Yeah, it is. They did a nice job.
I may declare a national emergency dependent on what's going to happen over the next few days. We have a meeting, Vice President Pence and a group will be going to...
Once he declares it a national emergency, all elections are postponed until the emergency is fixed.
They declare a national emergency dependent on what's going to happen over the next few days. We have a meeting, Vice President Pence and a group will be going to a certain location that you know where that is, and they'll be having another meeting. I don't expect to have anything happen at that meeting, but I think we'll have...
I honestly think, and this is all truth, I think the American economy has collapsed, and they don't want to tell us that it has collapsed. It may have been more devastating if they told us that it collapsed, because then they would have no control. So now they're like, oh, well, because how's he going to tell you, hey, we're going to have another meeting, but I don't think anything's going to happen? You're the goddamn president. You should be the most hopeful. You should be like, nah, we're going to do everything in our power to get this this negotiation rectified, or we're going to get this thing we got people to feed, or we got families that need homes, or whatever the hell he would be saying. No, he didn't just say that. That goes to that other dude that was telling me on his stream, Trump wants to save us, or that other guy that was the other guy that was talking about Trump's taking money out of his own billionaire pockets to save America. Let's hear that one more time.
I may declare a national emergency dependent on what's going to happen over the next few days. We have a meeting, Vice President Pence and a group will be going to a certain location that you know where that is.
A secret location.
They'll be having another meeting. I don't expect to have anything happen at that meeting.
He doesn't expect to have anything to happen at that meeting, at the secret location. So why would you be going to the secret location to have a meeting? What's the meeting for? It's not to make America great again. So what was the meeting for?
But I think we'll have, nor does the Vice President, but I think we're going to have some very serious talks come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We have to have border security. If we don't have border security, we're going to be crime-ridden, and it's going to get worse and worse. But the surge has never been stronger, and we have to build the wall, or we have to build a barrier. The barrier or the wall can be of steel instead of concrete, if that helps people.
Not only is the moon turning to blood, but now the water's turning to blood too. And this isn't the only place. It was in Malawi and in Indonesia. So there was two, and there's actually three. I forgot the other place, but yeah, the water's turning to blood. Water's turning to blood, and actually, they're saying that the chemical is iron oxide dust. Iron oxide dust spinning off of, believe it or not, Planet X. There's an extra planet out there that's spewing iron oxide dust. And first it engulfs the planet. That's why we're seeing blood moons. And then the iron oxide comes into our atmosphere and it rains down into certain ponds and puddles. And that's how it's getting in. Look at that. Blood moon, blood water. Drink that. I bet you won't drink that. That's how the heathen look. Look, ironically, why does Satan look like a skinhead? Look, what's up with that? Why does the devil look like a skinhead? Huh? Tell me that. Thanks for hanging with me on this stream. Thanks for your comments. Please like and subscribe. I'm out. Hit me up later.